se mala ljubila do sada? Jesi, al Bosanca nisi. Lijepo ću se očešljati, dotjerati, opegati, mirisat ću kao ruža, volit ćeš me i to znam. Kupit ću ti nanulice, od bisera, ogrlice i kolače i bombone za poljuba, sve ću da ti dam. I na kraju kad ti kažem volim te, ne vjeruj mi, lažem te, tako ti je mala moja kad ljubi Bosanac. Obećat ću, prevarit ću, doletit ću, poludit ću, ljubit ću te, neću stati dok ne kažeš da smo ti si moj. Opit ću se, neću se s jaranima, potuću se, zbog tebe ću glavu gubit, al ću biti tvoj, bit ću tvoj. I na kraju kad ti kažem volim te, ne vjeruj mi, lažem te, tako ti je mala moja kad ljubi Bosanac. Hej, stani, lele moje, hej, stani.
Today is March the 6th, 2018. Basically, is the girl that I met in Budapest in 2017. She met me. She is a Benjamin Netanyahu niece. And as I did search, I just did search, and I did so yesterday and so on, for the name Snarova, Tatiana Snarova. That was a girl that I met in Belarus, and I had an affair with her. By the way, I had like a little affair with this girl too, but this was only kissing, nothing more than that. What Facebook would do is, they would suggest under the Snarova name, which there are many people with this name here, Snarova. Okay? Basically what they would do is, I guess this thing, it did complete. Okay, that's very nice. What they would do is, they would go like this and they would suggest Egorova, 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 Egorova. Okay? This was my trip to Belarus, Egorova, 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 and so on. So, I did not look for the name Egorova. Okay? They did this thing yesterday too, and so today what I did is I actually recorded them. You see, this is what this is all about, and when you do the stuff like this, they know what you have done, and then you get this kind of stuff here, then you get this kind of attitude here. This is what I have first entered, Tatiana Snarova, you see that? And nothing would pop up under Facebook, nothing would pop up, nothing at all. Hard drive started to spin, in fact, at this point, hard drive started to spin like crazy. And when I go for Tatiana Snarova, I don't get anything. I get the name Sharova, Sharova, Sharova. You see that? Like this. Exactly like this. Okay, so I just want you to see what Jews do. How far did Jews, how far do they dare to go? If this isn't far enough, these people ruin my life. And they don't stop. They are like, you are like this, and it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like this. And I say, but not really. It's not going to be any of that. They think like they kind of own me. At this point, the hard drive is going completely crazy, totally crazy. So I'm going to bring up, what's that, let's see that. Task manager, you're going to see in the ad, there you go, that's a task manager. I bring up a task manager, I don't even know what's going on. CPU is very high. I see disk is very low. Funny, just disk was. It took him quite some time to get the disk on the screen, as you were able to see. Now, okay, I go back and I start looking again in the Facebook to see what's going on here, and I am now decided to write instead in Latin letters name Tatiana Snarova in Cyrillic, Russian Cyrillic letters, as you are about to see. You see, the Facebook would not bring her name no matter what the hell I would do. Niece from Netanyahu is extremely beautiful girl, but you know, this is love due to political interests, to hush me, basically what this is all about. This is not because there will be a love or something like this. This is because of the political interests. That's basically all there is to it. I deem, you know, I see this as ultimate violence. I don't see this as a you know, a form of love or, you know, romance or something like this, but I pursue this, I see this as a ultimate violence. By the way, yeah, that might not be the case, but yeah, oh, actually that probably, I'm not really sure, but I don't hear the audio. I don't hear the audio playing on my recording, which of course it's recorded with the audio. So there's already audio that is missing in there. So let's go and see some more stuff. So for what you see here, it actually took. Now I'm gonna do the experiment so you can see exactly precisely on the length of the movie and on the size of the movie and so on and so forth. You're gonna be able to see how long it actually takes to save the movie like this once the movie already is basically created. Okay, so yeah, at this point I decide to go and write her name in Cyrillic language. I go further and I go Vitebsk and so on and so forth. And they say there's no Tatiana Snarova in Vitebsk. Just yesterday she was. Today no longer one exists. In a little bit I'm going to show you that she actually does exist. So what I do is I change Latin letters into Cyrillic, Russian Cyrillic letters. That's where I get her name. That's what you do. You just do exactly what you're about to see here. This is the Russian keyboard. Let's say you enter the name, Latin, you get Russian Cyrillic. You enter that inside of the Facebook search engine, and her, you know, the name of the person should actually come up. And that's what we basically get. We get nothing. She does not exist. There's no Tatiana Snarova on the internet, believe me. There are many. If you go and log yourself under a different kind of account, you're going to see there are many Tatiana Snarova on internet everywhere. The name Snarov, it's like lots of people have that name in Russia. It's a Russian name, but the Facebook says "Нет, нет." Jubuk, Sia Masad book says "Нет." They don't say no. They say "Niet," they say. And so, bizarre, like totally bizarre. So I just want you to see that this is a sick obsession. There's something very wrong with Benjamin Netanyahu. This individual is very, very, very mentally sick. Very, very mentally sick individual is this. The biggest problem with his mental sickness, however, is, I'll tell you what it is. This is actually Slovenian police that is infected with his mental disease. All the stuff that you see happening in here, all this is happening because of the Slovenian police. Slovenian police acts on behalf of President Borut Pahor, and so does Parliament. Now, you can see what's happening here, by the way. Everything is a Gorova, as you see. Everything is a Gorova, a Gorova, a Gorova. There is absolutely no Snarova. Even if only last name is entered as Snarova, there is no such thing as Snarova. Or I should say the last name Snarova. There only is a Gorova. A Gorova, this is it, this is for me. A Gorova, this is for you, a Gorova. This. No other name in the world than a Gorova, that's it. This is it. So all this is done by Slovenian police. In a little bit I'm going to talk to you about abduction attempt. Right here in the Novo Mesto they have attempted again to do some dirty stuff. The Novo Mesto police, Slovenian police did. Chief of the police of the Novo Mesto, his assistant, his replacement, entire police department, the police officers here, they are simply, I'm going to say, I don't actually have the words for it. This is beyond corrupt. So, you see here, the last name Snarov does not exist. No such thing as a last name Snarov. Only Egorov. Egorova, Egorov, that's it. So, you know, this is a little bit obnoxious to, you know, push into a person, you know, to do stuff like this. It's not exactly how we Europeans see things as, but, you know, and it might be funny to some crazy dude over there in Israel. Definitely is not, to me, this isn't impressive to me in any way. This is really beyond sick. And it really is thanks to Borut Pahor, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Vladimir Putin. Now, after we did this search, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click one more time here, Snarova, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Nothing, they're still not capable to fix the issue. Look at this, Egorova, Egorova. Look at this, Egorova, Egorova, and so on. None of this shit, believe me, none of the stuff that you see here would be possible without Slovenian police. If they would say no, if they would file the criminal case against Benjamin Netanyahu, none of this that you watch here right now would be possible. Benjamin Netanyahu would piss in his pants and all the problems would end within a second. But because the chief of the police here in Novo Mesto and all other police officers are involved up to their throat against me, there were many under MK Ultra, they pointed revolvers in my head together with Mossad, and they have simulated, you know, depicted me, shown me how abductions, not abduction, but abductions are going to take place. That's exactly what they have done. That's the Slovenian police here. They have helped Mossad, you know, all kinds of stuff. Basically, psychologically, just to destroy individual to the point that he would not even resist, that he would not talk about this, but would actually sit on a plane and just go to Israel. I should say, just meet the girl yesterday and stuff like this. This shit is what Slovenian police does. And I'm going to give like a little note here to the Slovenian communists. They're not really communists. These are like wannabe communists. They want to be seen like a communist. In reality, I'm not really sure what they are, because they watch this crap going. They watch this corruption, this ultimate criminality, corruption going before their eyes, and do nothing but watch, like blind. Hear nothing, see nothing, know absolutely nothing. If anything is going to happen to me, it will happen because of them. They have basically created these things because, number one, they have allowed this thing to happen here in Slovenia, and number two, they watch silently neo-Nazis, fascists to do exactly the same as seen here. The way I see Slovenian communism is a totally failed option of criminality that absolutely have everything to do with anti-communism, because based on the message that we get here on how they see, hear, know nothing, they are suggesting to the world that the communism alone is nothing else than a lie. That's precisely the message of Slovenian communists, so-called communists, to the world. I do not believe in Slovenian communism. I believe one in China. I believe in law and order. I believe in equality. Do you think that Slovenian communists, which have created these things, believe in a law? Do you think they believe in equality? In Italy, yesterday, fascists won elections. Literally, fascists won elections. And what we see here, as we border on Italy, is nothing else than assistance to the Italian fascists. It's almost like, come across the border to Slovenia. We want you here as fast as possible. Because what Slovenian communists are doing at this very moment, by this, what you watch here, is suggesting, basically they're suggesting to the world a total incompetence and inability to rule own country, to regulate own laws, administer justice system and so on, corruption and so on. That's precisely what the message from Slovenian communists is to the world. And believe me, Zionists are no better, or I should say any different from fascists, Zionists. Just yesterday, fascists won big time in Italy. And so by watching what they're watching, doing nothing about it, it's not going to bring them any further than what I am in this situation. It's nice that they are quiet. I love that. It's the human psychology actually operates so that we think that if we're going to be quiet and so on, that somehow they're not going to see us, they're going to forget about us. The truth, however, could not be more wrong than that. The truth is that when you are quiet, you are actually compliant. And the only thing that's going to happen is, you can see everywhere all over the world, the neo-Nazis, the fascists are going up. And so the next one in line, it's going to be exactly the people that call themselves today communists, who do hear and see nothing, know nothing. So if anything is to happen to me, it's going to happen because of them. Regarding this stuff, I have written the blog today regarding this thing here, and I don't actually have much more to say than this. This is pretty much basically the way I see it. This is, let's say, a perfect case, is well explained here about what is happening. You cannot call yourself a communist if you approve any of this stuff. This stuff is real. Benjamin Netanyahu did walk in Slovenia, in Hungary, in Belarus, in Russia, all over, in Eastern Europe, all over, and have suggested our people, gave them, I'm going to say in parentheses, compliments on their physical appearance, on their looks. And the bottom line here is that many of these people have taken totally illegal, criminal approach. I'm not going to say only in this case, but I'm pretty damn sure in cases of many other innocent people out there. One of the people like this just happened to be a psychiatrist who supposedly handled my case. This individual here, her name is psychiatrist Tatiana Prokshel. This is the individual who was involved in MK Ultra. She she became involved in MK Ultra sometimes in, I believe, 2005, 2006. Before her, the one in charge for the case, actually 2004, excuse me, at least. Before her, the one in charge for the case was Zoran Muja, entirely was in charge for the case, but he no longer, that's how he claimed, was he did not no longer have enough time for devoting himself to my cases. We traveled here frequently to meet the politicians from Eastern Europe, and I'm talking about from Miami, from the US where I was. So you have American deep state, neo-Nazis, fascists, Schwarzeneggers, Stallones, Bush, McCain's, Paris, you name it, come here to this house. Many figures on the internet now, as the news broadcasters and so on, will also participate in this stuff. And you have all these people here watch all this garbage. You had Italian fascists, neo-Nazis come here and so on and so forth. Germans, Merkel, British. Later on, what happened was, they demanded for me to make the case. They demanded for me to go online and publish the news that they're going to publish. They brainwashed me on what kind of news is going to be, how everything is going to go, and how I will have to see one is, and so on and so forth. And sometimes in 2013 or so, this individual that you see here on the left side, Tatiana Prokshel, was injected in my case. And so was Andrea Jeric, but Andrea Jeric is a totally different case. This is a totally different person. It's something that I possibly could not equal. Andrea Jeric is totally opposite of psychiatrist Tatiana Prokshel, and I will not say anything why and how. I'm just going to put it this way. Andrea Jeric got involved in this case through Zoran Muja already much earlier. This started already sometimes in, I would say, in 2000 and maybe 2001. And psychiatrist Tatiana Prokshel sometimes in 2004. Both of these girls were like, Andrea was like selected like that to get me, basically suggest me to come home to Slovenia, that she's gonna, I don't know, marry me and stuff like this. And she really had the feelings for me, real feelings. Dr. Zoran Muja was not happy about me, however, because I have displayed some very disapproving attitude towards Serbian people, and he just happened to be so half Serb and half Slovenian. And so with the time, this individual have turned himself into a total psycho against me. He began to violate the law like in most severe ways, have gotten to the point that he actually orchestrated a scenario under MK Ultra on how I would act, my parents, and stuff like this. Later on in 2014, Zoran Muja actually placed me actually in a mental hospital in the same room with an individual who had, I don't know, who was 6.57 tall and had about maybe 300 pounds and have cut his mother in pieces and put her parts in the fridge. This is how far this individual have gone. Now the psychiatrist Tatiana Prokshel, that's a totally different story. Psychiatrist Tatiana Prokshel, I have rejected her based on her physical look from very beginning, and it seems like her stigma suffered, her self-confidence suffered tremendously, and so what she would probably accept as a normal human being was suggested to her to change the views on me by Dr. Psychiatrist Zoran Muja. And what he did was, I understand that's what he later on even bragged about, he sexually trained her. She began to sexually train my neighbor Dane Kolens later on to encourage him into breaking inside of my room and destroying my items here. So we have like a little chain reaction here of what went on. This is at least what he have suggested, and I'm like, yeah, I'll try, and 100% I can confirm regarding the Dane Kolens, because the neighbor, because his wife became totally pissed off. The local police, who suggested me how I am going to benefit from this. I don't know how the fuck I would benefit. I'm 46 years old, and I don't really see how the fuck I would benefit from any of this stuff. Who would want to be in my situation? I do like to know. Have suggested me even that they would stop the whole case because the two got involved beyond, that no longer is professional and stuff like this. Okay, so they did not stop the case. And the neighbor's wife from Dane Kolens, guess what? She even came in my face and have stated me that everything is actually my fault. Even this shit was my fault, that this psychiatrist, whom I have rejected totally based on her physical looks, went in bed with her husband. So if this is not disgusting, I don't really know what it is. Benjamin Netanyahu, however, would not stop. And what he would do, no, he would not stop because it was Vladimir Putin who did this shit. He encouraged him to do all this stuff. It was all good to do because Vladimir Putin wanted to do this. And I well explained here in this blog here, where I explained that this individual on this news, by the way, this news is totally fabricated. This news was created many years ago. This girl here, this almost looks precisely like this psychiatrist here. And well, the idea was for me to go and, insult her and so on her physical looks and all that stuff, which I partially did, but with a very good explanation. So this girl is almost a replica of this one here. This is almost a replica of this here. Because this girl, and this was the idea from Benjamin Netanyahu, right? So you get to know a little bit how sick this individual is. This girl, my insulting her would give her actually the courage to take most criminal steps against me. And Tatiana Proksho did bash to me on how they're going to hijack me to Israel. There was like many scenarios under MK Ultra on how they're going to do this, threatened to do this, and have gone as far as in her abuse as suggesting on that same people that they're going to have to go to Israel, as I'm going to report them to police. They're going to have to, it's going to be all my fault, everything is going to be my fault. And when we get there and so on, the same thing that is happening here will continue. And so on how they will erase my brain, they will erase my brain, that they're going to zip my brain, that I will no longer know absolutely anything, who I was, what I was, how they're going to human experiment on me, that they're going to give me these drugs, and I'm going to be like a baby, basically. I will no longer know anything about what I am, on what one day, actually, I will know who I am, and the only thing that's going to happen is I'm just going to swim a little further and drown. Basically, do a suicide. This is precisely how mentally sick psychiatrist Tatiana Proksho is, or I should rather say, what her desire, okay, what she have anticipated the case with me would be. And so, the people like this Tatiana Proksho, obviously are mentally sick people. She rated me as mentally sick without absolutely having absolutely any proofs for it. She labeled me, she branded me as mentally sick. She ruined my career after they have ruined my career with a forced unemployment. At age, I don't know how old I was the first time when I got me in mental hospital. That was about 6 years ago. 40. I have, because of this woman, very, very seriously attempted to commit a suicide. Because guess what? You're 40 years old. In the US, they tell you, we don't want you here anymore. Get the fuck out of here, this and that. They don't allow you to work in your profession. You don't have the right to unemployment compensation. And this shit goes on for like, I don't know how long, but keep in mind, you slept in car for months before you would even step out of the truck, I should say. I ate cans. I worked 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. And in the end, you have a scumbag, trash bag like this sick psychiatrist here, going as far as branding you as a mentally ill, as a mentally sick, together with Muja, with other people. First psychiatrist just appeared out of nowhere and was sent from the Berger, Miroslav Berger, right here, neighbor, just to say you're mentally sick and that's it, and that's how basically your life went. And when they do this to you, and at age 40, and you come out of mental hospital at age 42, age 41, whatever, in mental hospital where they tortured you to death. I mean, you have no idea what these people have done with the use of psychiatric medications, what type of procedures, radical procedures, these psychiatrists have taken against me. I mean, they would keep me in a closed department for several months. For like, first time it was like, I think, 7-8 months that they had me in the closed department, that no employee could possibly understand what was happening. Why? Completely normal person locked inside the closed department for 6, 7, 8 months at once. Nobody possibly could understand this shit. Okay? And so this shit here, this is precisely why. Okay? And so I leave the message here. I explained that just how dangerous these people are. They're right here. This news was created by Benjamin Netanyahu. Totally fabricated the news. He associates Russians with Jews. He's got a Russian trolls in there, I should say Jewish trolls, Israeli trolls, Mossad trolls, suggesting on how she is Russian and this and that. And so back and forth, basically. When in reality, this girl is a Jew. And when in reality, this girl is connected, as this news is connected to me, to this very case here, to Tatiana Prokshuk, regardless of how insane that might feel. But this is exactly, precisely how it is. The governments create via intranet. They have a special internet that runs separately, parallel to what you guys get, what we get inside of our homes. Parallel to the internet, they have their own internet, where news is fabricated about 15 to 20 years ahead. Major governments do the news like this. All the events, almost mainstream media, state visits, and so on and so forth, are not any coincidence, but are part of the well-designed program. Nothing in this world happens like by coincidence anymore. It's all well-designed. It's all well-coordinated with one another. This is basically how they do it. And so to me, if you're a communist and you actually watch shit like this go on, I don't see, why do you call yourself a communist? Why do you allow these things to go on? What different the hell are you from the people that we see here? What exactly is the difference? I understand that actually I can really not understand. The fact of the matter is that the people who claim they are communists do not understand really what the communism is. Corruption equals to capitalism, equals to criminality. And holy crap, if you don't understand what the hell this equals to, just because the word Jewish is used, my God, you're fucking retarded. I don't really know what else to say in this case. It's like saying basically the logic that today communists, they call themselves a communist, they use is that, according to them, is that if the Jew does, it's okay. Alright? If the Jew does corruption, if the Jew does criminality, if the Jew kills, murders, slaughters, it is okay. But if the German does, it's not okay, but actually is okay. It's okay. Why is it okay? It is okay because it's better to be quiet. It's better to put the head inside of the sand till our turn comes, basically. This is how they see it, and this is basically how... Now, this is basically how I see them as. And it's a proven fact. In both of these cases, Vladimir Putin is a Jew and he is a neo-Nazi. These are two things that nobody can deny. Well, just as I was released from the mental hospital on December, I think it was a little early in 2013, President Borut Pahor have pushed me into arms of Dr. Tatiana Prokshel. And as much as I was not allowed to post on this state television program, RTV Slovenia, this is a government agency, right? Yes, it is. I was not allowed to post anything in respect to what they were doing to me on the public forum or anywhere. Anything I would post ever would be immediately deleted. And so they knew that I am oftentimes participating on that forum and on news and so on. And so what they did is they invited her instead and gave her like a guest position, whatever you want to call that. Nice. It's, you know, you want to say, what have they done and what have they not? I will tell you what, nothing the scenario these people have created is so insane, so twisted, so murderous, that I don't know what is it they did not or what they have used. The stuff that you're watching actually is real. This goes beyond horror scenarios, any kind of horror scenarios you possibly can imagine. You can see right here what other people have to say about her. I'll tell you, she is cold. She is. You cannot talk to her. This is an arrogant person. Waste of time being with her and so on. Look at this. 1.8 is the score. Believe me, she does not deserve number one, I would say. And it's quite a lot of people that see things like this as. My main concern, however, regarding the psychopath, because this individual is mentally not stable, this individual is criminally insane. We're talking about precisely the same situation as I am facing with my parents. Interesting. My parents and my neighbors, I should say, whose idea was to depict me as mentally insane. Tatiana Prokshel no longer works in mental hospital Novo Mesto. She suggested me through Dr. Muja that she left one because due to fear, she fears me. This is what she stated. This is what he stated me. Well, here's the thing. I am very, very much concerned for the people where she is at this moment. She is at the moment in psychiatric hospital Begunia in intensive care. And she she is engaging with patients who have acute diseases, mental patient with psychosis, bipolar, mood fluctuations, mental patients with severe depressive episodes, basically suicidal mental patients, patients with dementia, and so on and so forth, and is saying here, because of which these people they cannot be handled in their home environment. You see what I'm talking about? So what they're doing here to me, destroying everything to me, doing this shit to me like this, with idea to largely as a totally mentally sick, dangerous patient, what actually brought me in her hands. And so I am very, very, very much concerned when it comes to my mind, that a real psychopath like this here handles the people in whatever that mental institution in reality is. Because when I consider my own case of my own, and when I see a shitbag like this, a maniac, a psychopath, then I'm having a second thoughts also about the patients, in a parenthesis patients, because we don't really know how these people got in there. We don't really know what their real circumstances are that are under her jurisdictions. I should say jurisdiction, that basically she handles them. This is actually my main concern. I certainly believe that there is a very, very strong scenario here in which I have nicely suggested and explained how Tatiana Prokshel was involved in this case. I have totally explained how she got in, how the case was designed, and her current present position, work position, also, as you have seen, suggests that she is handling precisely the people like myself. Therefore, this is not any coincidence. This is just, I don't know, maybe the expertise that she is inquiring so she can use one in the future against me. I don't know. She is a really scary lady. The scenarios she came up with, how she's gonna erase my brain, and the stuff in respect to Israel, the stuff they're gonna do to me is just very, very scary stuff. The stuff they have discussed with me under MK Ultra, and it looks to me like no longer to just terrorize me, but a little bit more. As you know, the people wake up constantly from comas. They spend there, according to so-called journalists, years before they wake up, and they wake up, they speak other languages, and they remember nothing and stuff like this. These things are happening all the time, and I can tell you, based on what Tatiana Prokshel have promised me, that something like this could actually happen even to me, because thanks to the police like we have here, what precisely is not possible. We just live in the world that is, let's put it this way, I don't know if we have ever lived in a world like this. The way I see her actually is beyond Dr. Mengele. I think that the Dr. Mengele, who experimented on people in concentration camps, was, I would say, just like a little tiny thing compared to her. Because the stuff these people have done to me, let's say for 13 years, ongoingly, MK Ultra, injections, electroshocks, all that stuff, torture, threats, forced unemployment. Imagine to go and apply for 30,000 jobs on 2 continents, and point guns at me, revolvers, simulated me abduction attempts, got me in mental hospital, were tortured to death, almost died 3 times, could not walk, could not talk, could not sleep because heart was ready to explode, and things like that. I don't think even Dr. Joseph Mengele went as far as this. And well, it's gonna get interesting, I think. I feel really, really sorry for those, in a parenthesis, patients under her administration. I think this woman is a real psychopath. I think that here in Slovenia we have precisely, let's say, almost just under different circumstances what Germans used to have in concentration camps going. There is just a little tiny little bit, please forgive me for me to say, in respect to Tatiana Snarova and Tatiana Prokshur. When in Belarus, here's what basically have happened. I had quite an interesting relationship with this lady. She was involved in MK Ultra before. It's a political lady. So she was used for this case by Vladimir Putin to assist foremost Benjamin Netanyahu, Israelis. This whole trip, I already have explained, was the idea to mentally break me down, worn me down, so I would just submit myself to Israel, basically, which I have rejected and I always will reject. When I got back here in Slovenia, a few days, we had a very good relationship still. We met on the internet and so on. But she became, I'm going to say, like, disturbingly abusive without absolutely any rationality. There was absolutely no rationality in it. She did have absolutely no grounds for her mental abuse toward me. And the thing, however, is that individual Tatiana Prokshur, however, was the one who communicated with her to the Belarus. Tatiana Prokshur was involved in MK Ultra. The two knew each other, and she was the one, I believe, in my opinion, because as I studied her approach toward me when we communicated on the internet, the way, it was just totally unnatural, totally not her. All of a sudden she changed herself really into another Tatiana. Everything suggested me that she is taking precisely instructions from Tatiana Prokshur right here from Slovenia. Maybe just go and copy paste into my window when we communicated on the Skype. I no longer possibly in any way could recognize my Tatiana over there from Belarus. She no longer was she. We had such a beautiful, wonderful time in Belarus, and here, all of a sudden, totally everything changed. And so I believe this lady, since she was involved in this case, an MK Ultra case, and since she did handle the situation also for the Belarus and so on and so forth, might have been precisely the one who have given her instruction on severe mental abuse. I believe she was behind that as well. Look, it's not me, who mentally ill is, as they have suggested me just a little back, if you watched the video about how they have selected on Badu dating sites, how they have suggested me on how when I made the criteria to find females in this very city of Novo Mesto, they have suggested me on the criteria how all the females were exactly 92 kilometers from here, inside of the mental hospital Vojnik. 92 kilometers from here, just to give you a little reminder here, right? 92 kilometers from here. They are in same town, they are totally in same town. They are totally in same town as I am, but then again 92 kilometers from here. Okay? So I'm in the town of Novo Mesto and they are 92 kilometers from here. Now, by the way, and this does relate to the incident, yesterday's incident. That's why we need to talk about that stuff. You see, Novo Mesto is the city, and this is the age rank. This is just for the entire city, and that's pretty much what you get as a result. And we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop here, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you like a little update, because this relates to the news here, the news that went on yesterday. Yeah, it sounds pretty insane, but when they do the shit like this under MK Ultra and you actually have the proof for it, and it becomes reality. Insane reality. This individual, I was told under MK Ultra that she have kids from Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin, who would come here with her, and this to be one of the females that he actually have impregnated. Was suggested that under MK Ultra that I would just be quiet, and if I would be just quiet, nothing, we would just live together in peace. Just don't talk about the politics, and the Moscow is going to take care. This is what I was suggested under this case here. For this case here, I was suggested, you can see there are two same pictures right here. For these two cases here, I was suggested that this is a lover from the Vladimir Putin, his daughter Maria Putina. Maria Putina, I understand, is a lesbian, and whose lover actually, I understand, is here from Novo Mesto. It might be, might not be, I don't know what they have, but this is what I was suggested, that she is a lesbian, and so on and so forth. This picture here under MK Ultra, they have presented me as a Maria Putina. Okay, we need to set this thing straight. That was recorded the other day. Today again it's March the 7th, 2017. But this is not really normal dating site. This is not really normal dating site, because the people that you see right here, 1, 2, 3, are the people I've been seeing already since I started this account, and the account before this one. The idea is for the local government to lobby for Vladimir Putin. That's number one, and secondary, I should say foremost, through the Putin, for Benjamin Netanyahu, for the Israel. So again, poorly explained. This here, supposedly understand, is a female Vladimir Putin have impregnated, and was suggested to me under MK Ultra, listen, just be quiet about it, and the Moscow is gonna take care all. There were other versions they have come up with, how I'm gonna say that, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna get me, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is the one right here. Right? So, this actually, that's what I was told, is the lover from Maria Putina, and the Maria Putina is supposed to be this one here. This is the stuff I was told on MK Ultra. They came up with another version, and another version was that when I'm gonna say this, the things are gonna get creepy, and they're gonna prove me that I'm insane, and so on. Oh, the truth is that you can hide the facts on this website, or on the Facebook, or anywhere that I face. Whenever online, whenever on the internet, I am stalked. When I go to the city, this is in a little bit I'm going to talk to you about, I am stalked. These are facts nobody can deny. All the spy camps, everything was never ever delivered to me. In a little bit I'm going to talk to you. So you want to say, but you have a proof. Yes, I do have I absolutely have a proof for everything I state. I'm going to show you about the 10 spy cam cameras that never ever were delivered to me after ordered from China. And whatever was delivered to me was damaged, was broken, except maybe one or two gadgets, which however are totally quite useless, I would say, compared to the stuff that I ordered. So when you say, if I have the proofs, yes, I do have the proofs, because you don't have the proofs that you have not blocked me from obtaining those items which I have ordered. And those are the items in alert I'm going to point out. Now her name, Malchi, 92 kilometers away. All these girls are 92 kilometers away. And the 92 kilometers away from here, I'm going to show you precisely what it is. Just you know, you got to see that video to see just how mentally sick, how psychologically disturbed the fuck these people are, what these people have made out of my life. You gotta see what is inside of the Vladimir Putin's head. You gotta see how fucking sick this individual is. Because like I said, none of this shit would be happening without the Vladimir Putin. Now you're gonna see what 92 kilometers is away from here. And I'm sure you're gonna love this. So you get the same result from the city, from the same city as you are. And this thing here, this is a 92 kilometers away from here. This is a mental hospital. Okay, they have tortured me most severely in Ljubljana Psychiatric Hospital. But 92 kilometers away from here is psychiatric hospital known as Vojnik. And so, because according to MK Ultra scenario, I would accuse the psychiatrist of la 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 la, I will be transferred now instead to this mental hospital. You see, this is how the fuck it goes. And now you please tell me who mental sick is here. Am I mental sick, or that these people actually psychopaths, maniacs, lunatics, murderers, assassins? And excuse me, I am pissed off. I am upset. I don't know how you would take when you're 46 years old without a family, without the kids, when you're blacklisted on a job market, on everywhere you go you're blacklisted. I don't know how you the fuck would be, but I am pissed off. I am pissed off. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very, very upset about all this. And so, for what Benjamin Netanyahu did, not only here in Slovenia, but also in Russia, in other parts of the world, I believe this to be extreme danger. I believe the state of the Israel to present the ultimate danger for our humanity, for our survival. And I believe the lunatics, let's forget Andrea, let's not talk about her. I have nothing to do with her. She make me a problems, but I don't resent her or anything. She has got nothing to do with her. But this individual here, psychiatrist Tatiana Prokshel and Zoran Muja, but this is the stuff that is extremely dangerous when you consider these people to be in the field of the psychiatry. And you know, when psychiatry becomes a tool to murder, to kill people, like it is depicted, demonstrated, and proven under my case, I believe this is the time that we have to start to really concern ourselves with things, with our well-being. Benjamin Netanyahu is severely mentally ill, mentally sick individual. And you know, if you're a communist and you watch this shit, you're watching this, you are standing for this shit. You're watching and doing nothing about it because you approve. You're watching and doing absolutely nothing about it because you want, because you like it this way. And so therefore you are not any better than neo-Nazi, you are not any better than a fascist.